The most overlooked asset finally gets some love. Financial companies absolutely hate precious metals. They joke about it at the water cooler. I've heard it with my own ears. Even the consideration that a precious metal even exists has perplexed those in the fee-driven industry. But now today, we have seen a massive surge of not really just the paper silver, but more importantly, the physical metals. There is now a huge premium on the actual metal, which you may be able to order, but won't be able to receive because they still need to manufacture it for you. This is certainly a display of supply and demand. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. We have to first make the distinction in between the paper markets and the physical. This goes for silver, this goes for gold. There are those companies out there, they have an ETF. Number one, you've got those that are based on the futures. There's others based on the physical metals. But then we look at actual bullion. Okay, so they'll tell you, no problem, they'll tell you there is physical there somewhere. But come on, we know how Fort Knox works. We realize that this, just like Little Munchkin, went in and said, everything's here, thanks, there's no audit needed. I'm just gonna walk in and walk out and say it's all good. And everybody believed them, case closed. This is a whole different scenario. The only way you're gonna know you have that silver or you have that gold is if you're holding it in your hands. So this right now is becoming more difficult because of the surge that just took place. I'm gonna cover everything that you need to know right here. Let's get into it right away. By the time you're watching this actual video, the price, who knows where it could be, but certainly we have seen a rise, a really fast rise over the last 30 days with silver on the left-hand side. This has spiked upward, come down from its peak as of the time of this recording. And then on the right-hand side, we're seeing gold. That really hasn't correlated to each other, that's for sure. Taking a look at what's been going on. This is a 1-year chart. And it peaked out probably looks like August timeframe, and overall it has come down since. It's still up significantly year over year, there's no doubt about it, but you can definitely see a difference in these two charts. There's the silver gold ratio, of course, that is always in flux. The price is always in flux, but in general they have moved higher over the last little while. And when I look at these, I have to remember to myself all the time that the prices that we see are so different, so disconnected from the actual physical metals. And you know that based on the demand on the actual physical bullion. This tells you what's actually happening because the prices, they're manipulated. If you look up, I'm sure you already know, but for those who don't, GATA, they're going to tell you about all the manipulation. And there's others who have done that. But GATA or GATA has looked into it extensively, and they have all that information that you would need to make it very clear. But on the same note, just look at how many instances of precious metals manipulation there are, and people get caught. And they say specifically, I've quoted numerous occasions where they say, well, everybody was doing it, I thought it would be okay. Or this wasn't really that difficult to do, it's kind of a known thing. And so they do this all the time and they manipulate the price. But that's the paper markets. The physical metals are in high demand, especially right now. Take a look at this right here. At the bottom, silver, physical, premium. We haven't seen this in years. I believe it hasn't been like this. It's since 2011 on that, but don't quote me on that. I pulled up some stats on this. And at the top, you're seeing silver American Eagle 1 ounce coin price comparing the futures, the gray, which are hard to tell, ends up right about here, just under 30. But if you look at the actual coins, they're going above 40. And I'll give you some examples here in just a second. But you could see that premium is massive right now because it's in short supply. On Monday's trading session, silver futures had rose 8%, making that the largest one-day pop in silver on the NYMEX since at least 2013. So there we go. You could see how high this has come in this period of time. It's something to behold, really, when you see such an unloved asset. I mean, you just talk to people in the industry and you say, what do you think about silver? And they will laugh. They will actually laugh. And that is unfortunate. Not because the price. You don't look at the price of the metals if you're interested in the metals. This has something to do with, it's completely different. When you look at a stock, you may want the cash flow from the dividends. You may want the appreciation from that particular stock. But it's so very different when you're talking about precious metals, because you're essentially betting on the devaluation of the currency. You have to disconnect the two. They are not the same, because you say, well, the price might just sit there. Well, look at what cultures in the East do. Okay, many times cultures in the East, they have their gold coins, and at weddings, at different celebrations, they give these coins to these families. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to keep the wealth within the family. They're trying to pass down this wealth generation to generation. Are they necessarily saying, well, you know what, this coin, it's worth $1,300 right now, and it's worth $1,400 the next day? No, they're just figuring out a way to encapsulate some of their wealth in something that can be put into a little box and handed off to somebody else. That's what this is all about. It has nothing to do with, is the asset going to be worth more tomorrow and so on. Yeah, the short-term fluctuations. But when we're talking about the actual metals, people see it, comparing it to Amazon, comparing it to all this. No. It's totally different. Again, physical metals here. Check this out. Entire silver industry is wiped out. Online precious metals dealer. This is JM Bullion. And if you take a look at what's been happening, it's not just them. There's many of them. In fact, most of the major ones, as far as I'm aware, are basically wiped out. It's not just, don't just take this guy's word for it, okay? And this tells you that there's not demand from the hedge funds that are going in and starting to buy it and so on. We're talking about people, individuals buying the metals. And they ask, who are buying the metals? And they said, primarily this comes from our existing customer base. He said, yes, over the last few days, there have been new people buying in, but the majority of the purchases have been a few $1,000s, and they're from our existing customers. That is very key. Here's some examples of the premium that you're seeing right now. I mean, 2021, 1 ounce American Silver Eagle. Look at the price, $41.56 at the time of this recording. You could look at the next one over $40.56, $42.56, and so on. You can go down the list just to see, depending on which company you're on, depending on the website you're going to look at, you're going to get different prices. But the point here is that there's a huge, huge premium on the actual physical metal. This is from Monday's trading session, okay, February 1st. Only 90 minutes into trading, and SLV has already traded more than it has in about a decade with $4.6 billion, which makes it a virtual lock to beat that monster 10 billion mark set in 2011 as well. So the demand there was peaking out, obviously, 2011. We saw the price rocket up higher, and now we'll see what happens this time around. PSLV, Sprott Silver CEF, which can trade at a premium, has already doubled its all-time volume record in the first hour of trading. We'll see what's going to happen with this one. This is the physical, supposedly physical metals, but traded like a stock, of course, compared to SLV. And, personally, I don't trust either. If it comes in a stock, that's not physical. As far as I'm concerned. I know they say, well, we got it allocated for you and all this stuff. To me, physical, totally different story. I saw these suggestions that, this was being done by Citadel because they own silver. All right. Citadel owns silver. All right. Well, let's see. Check it out. You can go to Whale Wisdom, or any of the others. I show you how to look this up. If you go to my free e-course, you can see it for yourself. Well, look at what they own right here. You can go down the list. They've got gold, okay, on both calls and puts. You can look at the stocks that they own. Amazon, okay. What else do they got in there? They've got a put on Google, all right. They've got Adobe. They've got all kinds of things, right? Well, one of the things that they do have is SLV. SLV. And if you see right here, I saw this one, people keep talking about it. It's SLV, that's a call. It's right there. I know the font is really small. And you go across and it looks like they've purchased a bunch of that. And I saw that being quoted. Look at this. This is the reason why SLV is being traded up. This is the reason why silver's going up. We're going to make Citadel rich. If you buy silver, don't do so. Alrighty. Well, let's just forward over one page and take a look at what they've got. They also seem to have SLV. If you look at the very last one here, SLV has a put and another large amount, basically the same amount in terms of the change in shares. And you see the percentage of the portfolios you can look at. Look, come on. You're talking about 0.13. And if I go back to the other one, I think it was 0.2 or something. If I could find it again, 0.23. Okay. These are not massive. And these companies here, like Citadel, they're moving money in and out so fast, okay? And this is also from the 13F. So we're using information that who knows, as of right now, as of today, it could be completely different. So when you see companies like this, they're buying in and out, we do not know what's happening in their active daily accounts and trades and things that they are moving, okay? Be very careful about the information, where you're getting it from. It's just, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I saw, anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm not going to talk about it. And then I just want to note this right here. Robinhood has been, they've raised, in this case here, $3.4 billion to fuel record customer growth. There's more to it than that, of course. And I believe that's, in addition, my count was actually 5 billion, but I mean, I guess it depends on what we're including in this. All I need to know from this is that what we're looking at is there has been a problem that has really risen up in this period of time. And that is, you've got a facade that everything runs so smoothly, and really look how many of these stocks have to be halted on all. You see them like every 15 minutes they're halting the stock because it's dropping too fast, it's rising up too fast, they're halting it. They're doing all of these different things that we've seen numerous things over the period of time, not just in this current rally, but of course you cannot begin to understand how much rot is underneath this system, and this might actually expose it all. So we'll see. That's all for this video. If you found it informative, hit that thumbs up button. If you hated it, definitely give me a thumbs down. I love those. If you want to learn about e-commerce, you can do so for free at the AmazonGPS.com. If you want to learn about the financial system, you want to understand what is a stock, how do you make money, how do you reduce your debt, asset classes, and all of that are covered in these two books. Definitely check them out at the link in the description. And if you want to know more about what's happening right now today, you've got to watch this video if you haven't already. Click it and I'll see you there.